Good morning. In our last session, I have completed the nervous system lesson and I gave a homework as to question children. Hope you have completed. And today I am going to start with a new chapter called reproduction in plants and animals. Hope you are familiar with the word reproduction, children. Yes, of course. Reproduction is nothing but producing young one. So why the reproduction has taken place in all living organism? In the sense to perpetuate the species in earth, to perpetuate the species on earth. For that, organisms, either plants or animals or unicellular organism or fungi or algae, whatever it may be, they are reproducing continuously. Okay, in this chapter we are going to see about the reproduction in plants as well as animals. What are the process involved in reproduction in plants and what are the process involved in reproduction in animals? All we are going to see in this chapter. Okay. Introduction. Living organisms cannot survive for an indefinite period on earth. All living organisms have the ability to produce more of its own kind by the process called reproduction. Yes, of course. So, by a process of reproduction, all living organisms can produce their own species on the earth with one or more in number. Reproduction is the unfolding of life forms where new individuals are formed. It ensures the continuity and survival of the species. This is the significance of reproduction. By reproduction, only the species are ensures and continued their survival on the earth. This process is to preserve individual species and is called as what? Self-perpetuation. The time required to reproduce also varies from organism to organism. For the reproduction, the time is varies from one organism to another organism. You may find a greater variation in period of reproduction in yeast, bacteria, rat, cow, elephant and humans. In sexual reproduction, offsprings are produced by the union of male and female gametes, that is sperm and ovum, and the egg and the male and female gametes contain the genetic material or genes present on the chromosomes which transmit the characteristic traits to the next generation. Okay, there are two types of reproduction. One is asexual reproduction, another one is sexual reproduction. What is asexual reproduction? What is sexual reproduction is another one thing. Asexual reproduction is there is no involvement of gametes. And in sexual reproduction, the gametes are fused to form a zygote. Zygote develop into an young one. What are gametes? The male produce a male gamete and a female organism produce female gamete. By the fusion of male and female gamete, the zygote is formed. Zygote develop into young one. As here said, the male gamete and female gamete both they contain a genetic material called gene which are present on the chromosome. Chromosomes are present inside the nucleus. Nucleus are present inside the cell, that you know very well. So, the gene which are present inside the chromosome transmit the characteristic traits to the next generation. That means from parents to offspring. So, the characters are transmitted from parents to offspring by a gene. The genes are located on the gametes such as sperm and ovum. These gametes transmit the genes to the offsprings. Then these genes are expressing the character in the offspring and produce a whole organism. Then there are three types of reproduction in plants. There are vegetative, asexual and sexual reproduction. In this unit, you will know more about the types and the process of asexual and sexual reproduction in plants, animals and human. Okay, children. So, when we take a plant as an example for reproduction, there are three types of reproduction I have seen in the plants. What are the three types of reproduction? One is vegetative reproduction. You should know what is mean by vegetative reproduction. The reproduction taken place by the vegetative parts is called what? Vegetative reproduction. What are vegetative parts? The plant consists of root, stem, leaves and flowers. Isn't it, children? Among these four, the root, stem and leaves are considered as a vegetative parts, and the flowers are considered as reproductive part, and the flower involved in the sexual reproduction and other parts are called vegetative parts. When the reproduction happened through the vegetative parts, it is called as what? Vegetative reproduction. So let's enter into the topic vegetative reproduction, children. In this type, new plantlets are formed from vegetative cells, buds or organs of plants. The vegetative parts of the plant. What are the vegetative parts of the plant? It is given here, you see, children. Root, stem, leaf or bud. Gets detached from the parent body and grow into an independent daughter plant. See, when a vegetative part of a plant which gets detached from the parent body and fall down and grow into an independent plant. For this, a well-known example is, it's given here, bryophyllum. Bryophyllum is an example for vegetative reproduction. Here the reproduction has taken place through the leaves. In the notches of the bryophyllum leaves, there is a small leaflets we can see. These small leaflets, when fall on the earth, it can germinate, it can develop into one young bryophyllum plant. Okay, so here the reproduction has taken place through the leaves. So this is called what? Vegetative reproduction. See here, children, again we'll go. It has only mitotic division, no gametic fusion, and daughter plants are genetically similar to the parent plant. What are the significance of vegetative reproduction? There is no meiotic cell division seen in the vegetative reproduction. Only mitotic cell division is there. This is the first significance. Another one is there is no gametic fusion. That means what? Like sexual reproduction, in vegetative reproduction there is no fusion of gametes such as sperm and ovum. And daughter plants are genetically similar to the parent plant. Since there is no fusion of gametes, the young one, that means the daughter plants produced is exactly similar to their parents. Okay, these are the significance of what? Vegetative reproduction. Vegetative reproduction may takes place through, here are some examples given for vegetative reproduction, children. First one is leaves. Leaves in bryophyllum, small plants grow at the leaf notches. Okay, at the leaf notches you can see clearly here, children. In a bryophyllum, the leaf notches consist of a small leaflets. These leaflets are fall down and develop into a new bryophyllum plant. Next one is stem. Stem as a vegetative reproduction. In strawberry, aerial weak stem touch the ground and give off advantageous roots and buds. When the connection with the parent plant is broken, the offspring becomes independent. It is clearly shown in the figure, children. In a strawberry plant, some stems are weak. The weak stem which have fall on the ground and touch the soil. When it touch the soil, it develop advantageous roots. We can observe the diagram, second diagram of this. First, as per the first diagram, the stem, weak stem fall on the ground, and once it fall on the ground, at the nodes of the stem, it develop advantageous roots. This advantageous root development is seen in the second figure, and above the soil it develop the stem. When the daughter plant get broken from the parent plant, it started to independent life. So this is what vegetative reproduction by stem. Next one is vegetative reproduction by roots. That is tuberous roots, asparagus and sweet potato can be used for vegetative propagation. Say usually sweet potato which store the food, which store the excess food in it and becomes swallowed. So when we cut this sweet potato into many pieces, and each pieces can develop into a whole plant. So this is what vegetative reproduction in root, example asparagus and sweet potato. Next one is bulbils. In some plants the flower bud modified into a globose bulb, which are called bulbils. What are bulbils to Marcos? In some plant, floral bud modifies. that means what? Get changed into a bulb-like structure. These bulb-like structures are called as bulbils. When these falls on the ground, they grow into a new plant. Example, agave. Next one is fragmentation. A fragmentation also a type of what? Vegetative reproduction only. What happened in a fragmentation? It has taken place in algae and in some fungi. We can observe this kind of fragmentation. Fragmentation means what? Cut the whole organism into many small pieces. Okay. Say for example, algae Spirogyra. It is a thallus, that is ribbon like structure. It don't have any root, stem, leaves at all. And when the thallus body is cut into many pieces, each body can develop into an young one. That is called what? Fragmentation. Okay. In filamentous algae, breaking of the filament into many fragments is called fragmentation. Each fragment having at least one cell may give rise to a new filament of the algae by cell division. Example, Spirogyra. So, you know very well what is fragmentation now, isn't it, children? Each fragment, that means what? The diagram is given here. Fragmentation is taken place in all Spirogyra. Spirogyra is an algae. When a Spirogyra is cut into 2-3 pieces, each pieces can develop into a complete thallus. Okay. Next one is fission. What is mean by fission? Division. By a division, the parent cell divides into two daughter cells. That is called what? Fission. So it has taken place in the amoeba. We can observe this kind of reproduction, fission, in amoeba. In this type, the parent cell divides into two daughter cells and each cell develops into a new adult organism. Example, amoeba. Then budding. Formation of a daughter individual from a small projection. The bud arising on the parent body is called budding. Example, yeast. Okay. So, formation of a daughter individual from a small projection. You can clearly observe in this figure, children, budding has taken place in yeast. As per the first cell, it is a complete yeast cell. So, in the second diagram, as per the second diagram, there is a small bud which has developed over the surface of the yeast. Then, in the third diagram, we can see a complete new bud, one complete new bud which have been developed on the surface of the yeast cell. And you can see in the last diagram, above the first bud, another one bud is developed, another one, like that it is going on and form a chain of bud. So when the buds are fall off on the ground, it is started to develop as an young one. Okay. So this is called what? Budding. Formation of a daughter individual from a small projection. The bud arising on the parent body is called budding. Example, yeast. Next one is regeneration. The ability of the last body parts of an individual organism to give rise to an whole organism is called regeneration. It takes place by a specialized mass of cells. Example, hydra and planaria. See, what is regeneration? Example for regeneration is hydra and planaria. In hydra or in planaria, if you cut the animal into many pieces, 2-3 pieces, that last part will be developed. The last part will be developed and form a complete organisms in each pieces. Okay, this is called regeneration. So this what about vegetative reproduction, children? In vegetative reproduction, we can see many types. That is reproduction through vegetative parts. Another one is fragmentation. Another one is budding and regeneration and fission. These are the various types of vegetative propagation we can see in organisms. Next one is asexual reproduction. Production of an offspring by a single parent without the formation and fusion of gamete is called asexual reproduction. Please bracket it, children. What is mean by asexual reproduction? Production of an offspring by a single parent without formation and fusion of gamete. Okay, it is called what? Asexual reproduction. Here it is clearly understood. In asexual reproduction, only one parent is involved and there is no fusion of gamete has taken place. It involves only mitotic cell division and meiosis does not occur. As like vegetative reproduction, in asexual reproduction also there is no meiotic cell division, only mitotic cell division has taken place. Offspring produced by asexual reproduction are not only identical to parents but are also exact copies of their parent. Like vegetative propagation, in asexual reproduction also the offspring produced are identical to their parents, okay. And also not only identical, it is exact carbon copies of their parent. Asexual reproduction occurs by spore formation. This is the most common method of asexual reproduction in fungi and bacteria. Underline it, children. So asexual reproduction is the most common type of reproduction observed in the fungi and bacteria. That is, asexual reproduction has taken place through the spore formation. During spore formation, a structure called sporangium developed from the fungal hypa. Then the nucleus divides several times within the sporangium, and each nucleus with a small amount of cytoplasm develops into a spore, and the spores are liberated and they develop into a new hypa after reaching the ground or substratum. Okay, so how the spores are produced is explained in this paragraph clearly, children. How you can have a question as 4-mark question. Explain the process of spore formation in asexual reproduction. Okay, so during the spore formation, a structure is developed on the fungal hyphae. Already we have seen in the last paragraph, asexual reproduction is common in fungi, isn't it? Okay, the fungal body is called as what? Hypha. Over the fungal body, there is a structure called sporangium is developed. Then inside the nucleus divides several times within the sporangium. So inside the sporangium, nucleus is present. This nucleus divide into many times. Nucleus alone divide into many times, and each nucleus with a small. After the division, each nucleus with a small amount of cytoplasm form as spores. Okay, and then the spores are liberated and develop into new hypa after reaching the ground or substratum. This what spore formation in asexual reproduction. That's all about asexual reproduction given in our text, children. Next we are going to see asexual reproduction in plants. Already I said what is mean by sexual reproduction, that is fusion of male and female gamete. So that means it is clearly understood in this reproduction both the male and female organisms are involved. So two parents are necessary for sexual reproduction. One is male parent, another one is female parent. Male parent produce male gamete, female parent produce female gamete. Yes, let's enter into the sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction is the process in which two gametes are fused to produce offspring of their own kind. In such cases, both sexes, male and female sex organs are needed to produce gametes. So, we have already learned that the flower is a reproductive organ of a flowering plant. Yes, already I said also, flower is the reproductive part of the plant, and it has two part, male reproductive organ and female reproductive organ. Male reproductive organ in plant is androecium, female reproductive organ is gynoecium. Androecium produces pollen, pollen gives rise to male gamete. Same way gynoecium, it gives egg or ovum. So this is what happened in the sexual reproduction in plant. To understand this further, we need to study the structure of a flower. So I said flower is the sexual part of the plant. So to understand that clearly, we need to learn about the structure of a typical flower. Let's see, children, a typical flower consists of 4 holes. The outermost hole is called calyx. The calyx is made up of sepals, and inner to the calyx corolla is present. Corolla is the second hole of the flower, and corolla is made up of petals. And androecium is the third hole of the flower, and gynoecium is the fourth hole of the flower. Among these 4 holes, the androecium, gynoecium are called essential part of the flower. Why? Because the androecium, gynoecium produce male and female gametes respectively, which are necessary for sexual reproduction. Since they are producing the gametes, they are essential whole of the flower. And another 2 holes, calyx, corolla, they are called what? Accessory holes. Why? Because it is not involved in the reproduction directly. So they are called as what? Accessory holes. Okay, or non-essential holes of a flower. Let's enter into the text of parts of a typical flower. A flower is a modified shoot with limited growth to carry out sexual reproduction. A flower consists of 4 holes borne on a thalamus. These holes are from outside. Calyx from the outside, the 4 holes we will see A. Calyx consisting of sepals. Second, inside the calyx corolla is present. It consisting of petals. Inside the corolla androecium consisting of stamen. Inside the androecium gynoecium or pistil is present, is consisting of carpels. So the 2 outermost holes, calyx and corolla, are non-essential or accessory holes as they do not directly take part in the reproduction. Hope you are clear, children. As I said already, this will be clear for you. No need to explain again. Next, the other 2 holes, androecium, gynoecium, are known as the essential hole because both take part directly in reproduction. Let's see about androecium. Androecium, the male part of a flower, is composed of stamens. Each stamen consists of stalk called filament and a small bag-like structure called anther at the tip. The pollen grains are produced in the anther within the pollen sac. Okay, about androecium, the male part of a flower is composed of stamen. See, androecium consists of many stamens. When we take individual stamen, it consists of 2 parts. One is stalk, another one is anther. The stalk of the the stalk of the anther stamen is called filament, and then the tip of the filament, it consists of a bag-like structure called anther. Inside the anther, pollen sacs are present. The pollen sacs produce the pollen grains. Pollen sacs produce the pollen grains. Okay, children. Then in the pollen, during fertilization, pollen grains gives rise the what it is, male gametes. Okay, let's see the structure of pollen grain. You can clearly notice here the structure, children. This is the structure of pollen grains. Here it is clearly shown the various parts of the pollen grain. Usually the pollen grains has 2 coverings. What are the 2 coverings? One is exine, another one is intine. What is exine? The dark green color which is present outside, which is somewhat rough in structure, called exine. In between here and there, the exine consists of a hole called what? Germ pore, also noticed here, children. And inside the exine, there is a pale color ring is there. This pale color ring is called intine. That is innermost layer of the exine, pollen grain is called intine. So it is clearly understood. Pollen grains are covered with 2 coverings. Outer covering is exine and inner covering is called intine. In the exine, there is a minute pore called germ pore. And next to that, we can see 2 cells are there. One is vegetative cell, another one is generative cell. Okay, one is vegetative cell, another one is generative cell. This vegetative cell, when the pollen grain fall on the suitable stigma, this vegetative cell started to germinate as a pollen tube through the germ pore. And what about this generative cells? The generative cell started to divide to male gamete and enter into the pollen tube and reach the egg inside the gynoecium and fertilize the egg. This what the structure of what? Pollen grains, children. Let's enter into the text. What is given as per the text we will see. Pollen grains are usually spherical in shape. It has 2 layered wall, as I said. The hard outer layer is known as exine. It has a prominent apertures called germ pore, that also is shown in the figure. The inner thin layer is known as intine. It is a thin and continuous layer made up of cellulose and pectin. Then mature pollen grains contain 2 cells. Inside the pollen grain, a mature pollen grain consists of 2 cells. One is vegetative, another one is generative cell. Vegetative cell contain a large nucleus. Generative cell divide mitotically to form a 2 male gametes. That's it about the structure of pollen grain. You will get as a 4-mark question with the diagram. Okay, children. Next, we are going to see about the structure of gynoecium. Gynoecium is the female part of a flower and is made up of carpels. It has 3 parts: ovary at the base, then next one is a long stalk like structure is called style. At the tip of the style, stigma is present. Inside the ovary, it contains the ovules. Next topic is structure of ovule, that I will discuss with you in my next class, children. And today's homework: write note on gynoecium, explain the structure of pollen grains with a diagram, and mention the names of various type of vegetative reproduction and how the spore formation taken place in asexual reproduction. These are the questions. Okay, mention the names of various types of vegetative reproduction. Second question, briefly describe the process of spore formation in asexual reproduction. And third question, structure of mature pollen grains. And fourth question will be the write note on gynoecium with diagram. Okay, children, that's it. I'll meet you in my next session. Bye.